Hello everyone, it's Shauna coming to you live from her craft room in Edmond, Oklahoma. Hope you guys are having a fabulous weekend so far. This is take 2, so bear with me just a second. I want to make sure we are having some technology issues. It's always fun going live. You never know. Okay, I'm in the right place today. I am turned the right side up. I'm not sideways. Let me make sure that you guys can hear me. Give me just a second. Okay, I'm in. All right, you can hear me. Okay. You know, Facebook Live is always fun because not only do you not know the technology issues that you're going to run into, but if you've ever done a Facebook Live, you know it's a few minutes delayed. So trying to get just right takes a little bit longer sometimes. Okay, let me turn on live chat. That way I can see you guys popping in. If you guys are scrolling down Facebook World and you see the live button blinking to your left, stop by, say hi. I would love to craft and chat with you. And we have, hopefully, a whole bunch of new people joining today. So I want to make sure that I give them a few minutes to find me and pop in. To all of those that I met at Church of the Servant last Saturday for the craft show, welcome, howdy. I hope you find a lot of inspiration here on my channel, on my Facebook page. Okay, so as we're letting people find me and pop on and say hi, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. I think we are straight and we're in the camera view. So I'm going to take these away. These are the 2 cards that we're making today. And you guys have choices to make. I need help. It's so crazy to me that when I'm making a card, how many different little tweaks, little choices there are to make that can change the look of a card so easily. So we're going to kind of go over that. We're kind of going to go to Card Making 101. The cards are not hard, but they do punch some wow. So, and I'm going to show you how to do that with an easy card. So, always, I go over this every weekend, every Facebook Live. Stampin' Up! Offers 3 levels of creativity. They have something for everybody. We have step-by-step kit instructions for our beginners, which I'm an avid scrapbooker, have been doing it since 1999, 26 years, and I still love our kits. If you're ever stuck in a groove, it's a great way to get the mojo going. So pull out a kit, start working on it, and then you find yourself starting to make some changes and doing it unlike what the kit says, and then you're on your own, and the creativity gears just start going. So the second level is our quick and easy options, or what we call our mix and match section. You take some card bases, you take some laser die cuts, you put those together, you can stamp a saying. So there's a group of products that are all coordinated to go together, they all match, and then there's some sketches in our catalog that you can jump off of, that you can use as a guide, a starting point, and you just start to put together them whatever floats your boat, however you want them to look. So and then of course, you know, level 3, anything goes, creativity your own way. It's majority of our catalog. So again, something for everyone. So if you're ever interested in Stampin' Up, reach out to me based on what you have, what you know. we can figure out what works for you, what you need. So when I talk about our kits, which is the step 1, hi Mom, how are you? We have 2 different kinds of kits. So the brown boxes are the kits that Stampin' Up! Offers online. They come out with at least 2, sometimes 3 every month. These are always revolving, always changing. So sometimes if we run out of one because it was really popular, it may come back, it may not. It just kind of depends. And then of course we have our Paper Pumpkin, which is our monthly subscription. You do have to subscribe to this. Now you don't have to get it every month. You can start it and suspend it, start it and suspend it. So if there's one that you're not liking, that you know that you're not going to use, just suspend it and don't get that one. That is an option. Speaking of Paper Pumpkin, because they are a monthly subscription kit, we don't really get to see exactly what's in every kit every month. It's kind of a surprise. It's kind of a Christmas gift that comes to your door every month. So the sneak peek for the one that we are in right now, you have to subscribe by November 11th, which I'm thinking was this Tuesday, right? Oh, you have to subscribe between November 11th and December 10th. I was thinking, where did I miss a month? Okay, so this is the one that we are in right now. It's called Watercolor and Bloom. We know it's going to have a watercolor effect. We know that it's going to have some blue-green coloring. We know it's going to have some floral. It says customizable sentiment stamps, and I didn't quite know what that means or meant, but I have seen a sneak peek of the stamp set. And it's not an alphabet. You don't create your own sentiments. There are, I think there was a thank you, miss you, just your normal sentiment. So it's a good stamp for year round. It was a cute stamp set. You won't be disappointed. So those are our sneak peeks for the month that we're in. And Stampin' Up! Always offers a coordinating die set that goes with these. These dies are for 3 months. It's for a quarter of the Paper Pumpkins. So like the Joy went with the one that was 2 months ago. The tag went for this one. The little gift boxes that we should be getting, I would say, in the next couple of days. And then these floral ones, of course, go with that Watercolor and Bloom. That is the period that we're in right now. So item 167855 if you need that number for the add-on. Now, if you are interested in the Paper Pumpkin, you might want to wait a little bit. December 1st through 9th, Stampin' Up! Is going to offer something for Cyber Monday. Sorry, had to turn the air down a little bit. It's kind of hot in here with all the lights on. So you get to save on the prepaid subscriptions. So again, if you can do 1 month at a time. I think the Paper Pumpkins now are $27 a piece. Normally, if you're making cards, that's 9 cards, $3 a piece basically. If they're treat boxes like this last one was, it only makes 8. So it's still a good value, but if you're going to prepay for subscriptions, you can. If you get a 3-month subscription, it's going to be $61. The regular price is $81, so you're going to save 20 bucks. On a 6-month, it's $122 instead of $162, so you're going to save $40. And then if you prepay for the whole year, it's going to be $244 instead of $324, so that's an $80 savings. So That really is the smartest way to do it. If you know you want to sign up and become a member, do it December 1st through 9th. Get the Cyber Monday deal and prepay for those subscriptions. Again, you can stop it and start it. So even though you've prepaid for the whole year for 12 paper pumpkins, that doesn't mean that that only lasts you a year. If you suspend it for several months because you don't like it, then you're just going to tack on those several months at the end. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, holler at me. We do have a few of the 12-day Advent calendars still left. This is item number 167335. They are $99, so I know that's a chunk of money. I'm not saying it's not, so I don't want it to come across that way. Some people like to be surprised. Some people do not. I have posted twice now, once this last week and once a couple weeks ago. There are some YouTube videos out there that show some of the demonstrators opening each door and what's behind it. So if you don't want to be surprised, go watch that video. If you want to be surprised, let me just tell you, behind these doors, there are 6x6 paper packs, there are dies, there are ribbon, there are embellishments, there is a stamp set, and they are not Christmas themed. They have a floral theme, they are pastel colors. You can use them for birthday, you can use them for thank you. So they are year-round. It would be a great gift if you want to get one for yourself and a couple of friends so that you guys can sit around the table and craft together. That is the whole point of crafting, and I hope I make that clear when I talk about it. Stampin' Up! Or crafting, 50% of it is about making things. Making cards for others, sharing kindness. The other 50% of it, which is a big percent, is about getting together and building bonds and friendships, laughing, having fun. So don't miss out on that part of it. Stampin' Up! Does offer a lot more than just scrapbooking supplies. They have craft classes, they have kits. There's so much stuff on the StampinUp.com website, so don't miss out. We just had a virtual craft class it was October 23rd to be exact. It was on my birthday. I should remember that. And it went great, so they're offering another one. This is going to be using the Brushed with Beauty suite of products. These are online exclusive products that are gorgeous. The class is going to be November 20th at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. If that time does not work for you, you will have access to this class forever. So don't think that just because you can't do that time that you can't do this. You can come back and watch it. Now, if you can do it at 2 p.m. Mountain Time on the 20th, it's live. So you can talk and chat with people. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be techniques. So the way it works is the class itself is item number 170074, and the cost is $30. Now, you don't have to use this suite of products. You can use anything that you have on hand and just do what they're doing. But if you want to do it exactly the way they're doing it, then you need this Brushed with Beauty Suite Collection, and that's item 167100. But even if you don't have those products or those products are sold out, you can still use other products and do it. Now, here is a list. If you go to that online and put in those numbers, this will come up. These are some additional supplies that you're going to need. some different ink pads, some different paper, some scissors, your trimmer, your take your pick tool, your adhesive. That does not come in that class, so, or with that suite of products. So make sure you've got your supplies ready. Don't forget about our online exclusives. We do have 2 great catalogs that are live right now. Excuse me. We have our Holiday Mini, which is from September through December. This is a great catalog of products. And then, of course, we have our yearly annual catalog that goes from May of this year to April of next year. But we have so much more than what's in those 2 catalogs online. StampinUp.com is where you need to go. Go under new products. We have online exclusives that come out every month. This is just the one that I have printed for September. So, of course, November 1st, there was a whole bunch of new products that came out on the online exclusive list. So go there, look at those. Our kits are online, so if you're not shopping online, you're missing out on some goodies, and I hate to say that. It's also where you can find our last chance products, which are our discounted products. If a product doesn't sell very well, then they will move it to the last chance or the discounted products and reduce the price. There are some great products on here. Hi, Aunt Pat. How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by and watching. You're catching me at a good time because I haven't started the cards yet. The last chance products are some great products that you can get at a discounted price. So don't forget to check those out. If you did miss us at our last craft show at Church of the Servant last Saturday, we do have one more coming up. And again, I want to thank those that came out and helped support Jason and I's small business at that craft show. That means the world to us. Every little sale helps. So I met a lot of great people. So if any of you guys are stopping by and watching this video today, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say it enough. It's hard to make a small business grow. So again, every sale helps. And it's great meeting all the new faces and all the new people. I have a card class today that has a couple of new people in it. So again, Hilda, Brody, if you guys are watching, hi. I can't wait to craft with you guys later on today. But our next craft show, if you missed last Saturday's, is at Putnam City North. This is on Rockwell, I think it's between Hefner and Britton, I'm pretty sure. The address is 11800 North Rockwell Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73162. This runs from 9 to 4 p.m. It is free admission. The Putnam City North softball girls, this is their fundraiser that they do every year. This is their 7th year of having it. It's huge, guys. There's over 100 vendors. There's food trucks. It's going to be great. So again, December 6th, 9 to 4. Okay, guys. Enough chatting. Let's get to crafting. Let me make sure. I think that is all the housekeeping stuff I have. And again, today's Facebook Live is going to be interactive. I need help making choices, making decisions. It's amazing how much of a little tweak here, a little tweak there can change a card. So you guys are going to get a 2-for-1 deal today. Since I did the craft show last Saturday and I wasn't live, I thought, well, let's do 2 cards. These are easy cards, but you'll be able to see that just by making a little tweak here and a little tweak there, you can change up a card. So let me put these to the side. I'm going to bring in my trimmer. get my little mouse out of the way so I don't hit it and do something crazy and strange. Okay, your typical card here in the US is based off of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And again, we're going to go back to Card Basics 101. So a lot of you, and again, Mom, sorry, because I know you catch every video of mine. A lot of this is going to be repetitive, so I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time. But you can get 2 cards out of this one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Normally on a regular card, what you do is you put it in here at 4 1/4, which is half of this 8.5 by 11, and you score it down the middle. And then you go to 5 1/2, which again is half of this 11-inch side, and you're going to cut it. So you end up with 2 pieces that have this score in the middle. You fold it over, and this is your normal size card. Okay? Everybody with me? And if you're new here, just know that on the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, you can put a cutting blade, which is the dark blade, and a scoring blade, which is the light blade, on the same trimmer. This one just scores, puts a line on your card. This one actually cuts it. So keep that in mind. But this is your normal size card. You can tell that both of these cards that we're going to be making today, this is the size of card it is. So this is your normal, basic, typical fold. Okay? Now there are lots of different things that you can do. Again, this is the card that we made last week, and it is that same size. This was a magic slider card. You pull it out, it works like this. This one was just scoring this on one side, folding it over, and closing it. So this back side adheres to this front, and it closes, and it made this little pocket for your card that pulled up and down. Let's change a couple of things. Excuse me. Okay, so again, this is your half sheet of paper right here, guys. So half of that. And I haven't scored this or cutting this because I want you guys to know that just by doing a different score, a different fold, you can change the look of a card. I'm going to pull this card out. I know that's everybody's favorite, so we're going to start with the least favorite. And this basically 8.5 by 5 1/2, because we've already cut it in half, piece of paper. Instead of scoring it right in the middle at the 4 1/4, we're going to score at 1 1/4. So again, score, not cut. Let me move my cutter blade out of the way. So we're going to score at 1 1/4, and we're going to score at 5 1/2. Okay, so not a typical card at all. So you can tell just by scoring it in 2 different spots that you're going to get a different fold. So we're going to fold this over, burnish this down, turn it around, fold this over, burnish this down. So now you have kind of what's called a gatefold card. It opens like a gate would. Normally a gatefold card would be right in the middle. So this part would fold over and be the same size as this side. But again, just doing that opening a little bit over to the right gives you a whole different card. So that's one choice. How do you want your card to open and fold? Do you want it to be a very simple, elegant card and just open like a normal card? Or do you want to jazz it up a little bit and make it open a little bit? Okay, so now we have options here. So this card right here that I made opens up like this. So this is So Grateful for That Heart of Yours. This comes from Label Me Grateful. This is a online exclusive set. So again, if you're not shopping the online exclusives, you're missing out. And you can do this several different ways. This Blessed to Have You in My Life is actually from the stamp set that we used last week. Let me grab my mini catalog just so that you guys know. I think it's page 41, 40, something like that. It is Amber Autumn. It's this stamp set right here that we used for the, and I've already lost it. Where's my slider card? You guys, things go missing from my desk so fast it's not even funny. I have no idea where I put it. I'll find it here in a second. But we colored this little image here last week for the slider card that moves up and down. We're going to use this image this week. And we're going to use the Grateful for You. We're going to use the Blessed to Have You in My Life. I love those sayings. I also love this So Grateful for That Heart of Yours. So lots of great sayings. But this one, this piece right here, has been glued down so that this will pop up and keep your card shut. You don't have to do that. So again, that was another decision. And I did several different colors. So here's the Crushed Curry. Here's the Basic Beige. Here is the Daffodil Delight. And you could do this several different ways. You can have your card this way. You can have your card this way, which is why some of these are like this. Some of these are like this. Again, you could glue this part down so that you could put the dimensions on the bottom part and this will just pop in and out. Several different things. So let's make some decisions. What do we want to do? So another decision is, what paper do you want to use? Now I have pulled out this pack of paper for the last couple of weeks since we're doing our Thankful for Fall series. It has some great patterns in it. This is the Gathering Together paper. It's item 165969. Again, it's an online exclusive paper. I only have this much left of this pattern. You get 2 pieces of each, but because my card class is today, I have cut up all this paper because my card class is using it for our monthly thing. One side of this does have some gold foiling in it. The other side does not. So there's side 1 and side 2 of that pattern. Here is side 1 and side 2 of that pattern. And again, I have shown off this pack of paper many times, side 1, side 2, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but if you haven't seen it, it is a gorgeous stack of paper. We call our paper DSP, which stands for Designer Series Paper. So if you ever see somebody talk about DSP, it's just talking about the pretty patterned paper. Again, some gold foiling on one of the sides and just a basic paper on the other side. But very fallish, very pretty. It is my go-to fall paper pack. So again, you have decisions on what patterns do you want to use. Okay, I love these colors. I loved, this is, my mind has just gone blank. Cajun Craze. So here's some of that plaid, and here is some of that fall paper. So this is very easy. So this piece right here measures 2.5 by 5, and it's going to get layered on this piece of Cajun Craze that measures 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Another decision that you have to make is, do you want your standard 1/4 of an inch border all the way around? Or do you want a smaller border? Do you want an 1/8 inch border, which is these borders right here, all the way around? So do you want more of this Cajun Craze sticking out, or do you just want a little bit of it sticking around the edges and more of the pattern paper? So that's another decision that you have to make. And every little minute decision makes your card look differently, work differently, and have a different outcome, a different feel. So let me go ahead, let me put some adhesive on these, and we'll layer this up. Mom, you never did say which card was your favorite. Was it this one or this one? So we're going to lay this one right here. And again, we're just trying to get the same size border all the way around. Push that down. And then there's not really direction to this paper right here. However, I want the Daffodil Delight, since there's less of it, on the side where it's not going to be covered up by your sentiment. So we're going to put that right there. And then we're going to take this piece of plaid that is 3/4 by 5, and we're going to layer it on this piece of Cajun Craze, which is 1 by 5 1/4. And again, it's just going to layer on top of each other like that. So again, just trying to get your equal size border all the way around. And it doesn't have to be exact. It is a handmade card. It's not machine produced. So your imperfections are what make it pretty. So again, you're just going to come over here and try to line this up with an equal size border. Okay, so it closes like that. Now you can leave it like this, and you can, first of all, you can do this saying, which is more of a vertical saying. So this uses the, again, Label Me Grateful. Here is the die. So you can just pick out which piece of cardstock you think goes better. There's the Daffodil Delight. There's the Basic Beige. Here is the Crushed Curry. All of these look great. So it is really just a personal decision on what you want to use. And do you want to use a sentiment that goes more like this? Or do you want to use a sentiment that goes like this? I thought I would do one of each since I made this one already. And then again, there's other decisions. So do you put it up here and then your card can just pop open this way. You could put a pretty piece of paper right here. Or do you close this, tape this up, and then have this over here to where it just pulls out and closes like this? You're going to get a different feel, a different look from any of these choices that you make. There are also some great leaves in this die set that you can use. Speaking of that, before I forget to tell you, next Saturday's Facebook Live, we are going to make a shaker card, which is one of my most favorite cards to make, using this big die. This comes with, again, the Amber Autumn set. This stamp and these dies go together. So here's the big fall one. And then we're going to cut out a whole bunch of leaves so that we can use that as our shaker stuff inside. But that's going to be a gorgeous card, so make sure you come back next Saturday. I think it'll be on Saturday. It might be on Sunday. That's still yet to be determined. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and close this down. Do you guys have any preference? Do you like it open? Do you like it closed? What floats your boat? I'm making that decision for us unless you speak up. So now that stays, and this is the only part that comes up or down. Your next decision is, do you stamp your sentiment here or do you stamp it here? The only reason why I stamped it over here was because I felt like this didn't give me, I could have put it up here, but I felt like this kind of took up a lot of the space right here, so it would be nice to stamp over here, and then you would have this part to sign or this part to sign and put your little personal message. Okay, so on this one, since I have all these different ones, I'm just going to turn my card and make it this way this time. Another choice that you have is, depending on which cardstock you used to stamp your sentiment, now what are you going to color it? Are you going to color it the Old Olive, which would have been great for this piece of paper right here if I was still using it and had enough, because it has the Old Olive coloring in it. But I don't really have any more of that paper. So I wasn't really happy with that one, even though I really liked the dark crushed curry. This one tended to slip away and not stand out because it is the basic beige and this background is basic beige. This just gets lost, which sometimes is a good thing. This is a very simple, easy, eye-pleasing card. There is nothing wrong with this card. However, if you want it to pop a little bit, that's why I chose to go with the Daffodil Delight. And then, since I already had the Daffodil Delight, which is the yellow, I thought I need to bring in a little bit of that Cajun Craze and a little bit of that pecan pie. So that's what I went ahead and did on this. And then your next decision is, do you just put this flat or do you pop it up and give it a little dimension? Well, of course I'm going to pop it up and give it a little dimension, right? I like a little bang for my buck. So I'm going to grab my dimensionals. I'm going to put them down here across the bottom. And just so you know, that is what your Stampin' Up! Blends do. That's not an oopsie. That's the alcohol ink from these wonderful blender pens seeping through those paper fibers. Okay. Now, where do you want to put this? Do you want to put this in the middle? Do you want to put this to one side? The options are endless. Do you want to put it all the way down here? Do you want to kind of pull it up a little bit, put it more in the middle? Yep, I like the last one. Good, Mom. That's everybody's favorite, this one right here. And we're going to make that because, again, it doesn't take very long. So choices, and every choice makes you come out with a different look to your card. I'm going to go ahead, stick this in the middle, stick it down. My card's going to open like this. That's going to keep it flat and closed. You can put whatever sentiment you want in it. The last option or decision is, what bling do I use? What ribbon do I use? What elevates this card? These are the streaked dots. It is the early espresso and a pecan pie mixture, and they're kind of swirled. It reminds me of like a coffee cup. So you could use those because that matches this leaf. Here's the Cajun Craze and gold dots. So these are Cajun Craze with gold flecks. I don't think you could go wrong with either one of these. I like the Cajun Craze. I probably should have went with these, really, to be honest, because there's less of the early espresso. There's a lot of Cajun Craze, and maybe adding the Cajun Craze dots was too much Cajun Craze. I should have probably went with these. But again, it's your card. You have whatever permission to make whatever decisions you want. So here are those cards. And again, you could have used that. That would have been very pretty. Or you could have used that one. And you could have used it like this instead of like this. So many different options on how to make a card and put a card together, and you get a completely different look at the end of it. Okay, that is Card Basics 101. I'm going to put these cards to the side because this is the card that everybody wants to make. And it is very easy. Again, it was just a different way of scoring and closing, and it opens like this. But it's still your basic standard card. This is what we talked about at the very beginning of this video. So it's still half a sheet of 8.5 by 11. This is the early espresso. Let me put these to the side. So on this one, you're going to, I grab my little trimmer. We're going to do the normal where we scored at 4 1/4. So we're just scoring this in half. Again, scoring it, not cutting it. So again, we're getting our basic card just like this. What we had talked about at the beginning. Okay, but on this one, we're going to cut off 1 3/4 of it. Now all we have is this. That is this part right here without this part. You guys following me? Okay. I'm pulling out all my card pieces. So what we're going to do, there's another piece of early espresso, and apparently I didn't write my dimensions down on this. That's weird. So this measures 3.5 by 4. And then I have scored it right here. I don't know if you see that at the 1/2 inch mark. So again, 3.5 by 4, scored at 1/2 inch. You're going to take your tear and tape and we're going to put this on the little score, the little 1/2 inch scored folded side. You're going to use your take your pick tool or whatever little pokey tool that you have. I have mine packed away for my class here in a couple hours. And then you're going to take this, and I'm just going to use my grid paper here, just so that I can get my halfway. It's about 3/4 of an inch, I believe. Let me double check on each side. So each one of these lines is 1/4 of an inch. So if I'm going to go 3/4, I'm going to put it right about here. 3 squares over on each side. So I'm going to kind of get this in the right spot, and then I'm going to flip this up so that you guys can see. We're going to take this score and we're going to butt it right up against, hold on, I have to take off my glasses. I'm getting old, my eyes are getting worse. I'll bring it back down in just a second so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm butting that piece, that score line, right there on that fold. So I'm putting this fold and the edge of the card next to each other. Does that make sense? Okay. So you can't really tell that there's even a fold there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 pieces. So we have crumb cake that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we have basic beige, which measures 4 by 5 1/4. These are our 2 inside pieces. Now again, you would want to stamp first. So put your stamp saying there. I'm not going to stamp this one. I sell my cards at craft shows, as many of you know, and a lot of the people like to have the cards blank inside. So again, we're just going to make sure that this has a equal size border all the way around. These are the smaller borders. So again, we kind of talked about that earlier. Do you want a, oh, here was that slider card. I just found it. Do you want a wider, thicker border, or do you want a more small and narrow border? Completely up to you. It's a personal decision. We're going to lay this in here. Again, equal size border all the way around. We want it to be eye-pleasing, but that is going to cover up that little side piece that you had there, and no one is going to know any different. They're going to be like, how in the world did she do that? Now, before we get too much farther, grab my tear and tape. We're going to put a little piece of tear and tape right here, about halfway down, if I can get it to unstick from my finger. You can do this side first if you want. So make sure they kind of match up. And then we're going to take our ribbon, which is what we don't normally put on until the very end. This is the mesh ribbon. It has the gold striping down it. It's very pretty. I love this ribbon. Of course, my ribbon scissors are in my box for my class already. So we're going to make our ribbon go. We're going to use quite a bit of this. Don't be stingy on your ribbon when you're making this card. I don't know how much is that about. Let's see. About maybe 11. Gonna snip that off. And then we're going to come back over here and we're going to remove the backing on that tear and tape. And again, we're going to have our ribbon going the same way off to the side. Do about 11. I have fat fingers. It takes me a lot of ribbon to make a pretty bow. And I want my bow to be pretty. Okay, so that's our ribbon. That's how we're going to close this card. Here's a piece of that pretty paper. This is the plaid, 2 7/8 wide by 3 7/8 long. We're going to put this down. Put adhesive all the way around. Gonna layer that over here. Again, get the border pretty equal. Push it down. We're going to flip sides, do this piece over here. This is a 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 on top of a crumb cake that is 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. So a lot of you guys have said that you like it when I put the measurements on the paper and I already have the paper cut. Some people tell me they like it when I cut the paper in front of them and they see the step-by-step process. So, leave me a comment below. What do you prefer? We're going to put the crumb cake piece down. Again, leaving an equal side border all the way around. And we're going to take a piece of this Pretty Designer Series paper. And again, I'm going to try to put my yellow, my Daffodil Delight, more over towards the left instead of the right. Just so that you see it more easily. I'm not getting this on here straight. Sometimes that is half of my battle. Okay. Take a drink, sorry, goodness. All right. This is using the Spotlight of Nature dies. I've shown these dies off several times. This is a great set of dies. I believe this is in our annual catalog. But there are 3 different kinds. There's these little slits around the edge. There's this little leaf flower around the edge. And then there's this little dot and dash. And there are 3 sizes of each. So there's the small little dot and dash. Here's the medium dot and dash. Here's the big dot and dash. So let me grab Here's the big one. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at that. There's 4 of each one. I'm sorry. There's the small, there's a medium, here's the next to medium, and then the next one. There's 4 of each. So this is using not the biggest one, but the second to biggest one. And it really just depends on whatever fits on your little spot over here. That's why I went with that one. So again, Spotlight on Nature Dies. Item 163580. It's on page 69. And that's our annual catalog, I believe. Pretty sure. Okay. So I'm going to use, let's work on this part of our card right here. I have gone ahead and stamped it. This is using that Amber Autumn stamp set. It is a photopolymer clear stamp set. All of our stamps are going to be going to this photopolymer clear stamp. Stampin' Up! Is no longer going to be making the red rubber stamps due to cost. They are having a hard time finding a factory that will manufacture these at a cost, a low cost, to where they can make profit still and be a business, and keep the cost down for the consumer to purchase. So they're getting rid of these red rubbers. They're no longer making these. Everything's going to be the clear photopolymer, which these are great anyway. I do prefer these, to be honest, because they are easier to line up and see where you're stamping. So I am going to, just for any of those, I prefer it cut with the measurements. Okay, Mom. It is easier for me, to be honest. So I'm going to go ahead for any new people that are here and just show you how our dies work. This is our die cutting machine. Now the newer one that Stampin' Up!, this is an old one. The newer one that Stampin' Up! Offers is a gray one. It looks like a box, kind of like this one. This is the mini, but it looks like a box. So this is the mini, which is still pretty big, but it opens up like this, and then you put your little cutting through. Again, this is not very wide. You could use this die on it. That would be fine. But some of our dies in our embossing folders, sorry, that was really loud, don't fit on there. So if you're going to get one, I would say get the big one. It is nice to have the mini because it is smaller and easier to take to classes. But again, not all your embossing folders or your dies fit on it. So go ahead, spend the extra money, get the big one, then you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to take my die. I'm going to put it on my stamped image here. Get it lined up. Put my clear plate on it. These are just some shims, again, because my machine is old. It's been stretched out. It's been loved. I've had this thing for, gosh, 15 plus years probably. Did it cut all the way through? It didn't. I'm just going to line this back up. It has the indentation, so if you just click it back in there. I'm going to roll it through a couple more times. I don't know why this part is not, it's this little stem part that's not catching. There we go. It was just hanging on by a thread, a paper thread. Move this out of my way since it takes up the whole screen. I know we're already at an hour. I knew we would go over because I'm having 2 cards and I feel like I'm kind of going more into depth and explaining things. So I just wanted all the new people to be able to understand, because I'm not sure the skill level of everybody. So this is going to be a very quick coloring. I'm going to take my light Cajun Craze, my small end, not the big end. I'm just going to do a wash over all of these leaves on the top. Let me bring this one back in. A great thing about our Stampin' Up! Blends, these are alcohol markers, so it does not show your brush marks, your strokes, which means that you can be a scribbler and still get a great colored image. All of our blends come in a light and a dark for shading purposes. So I always start with my light. You don't have to. I did go over into this other leaf, which I shouldn't have done. I should have been more careful, but that's okay because we're going to kind of cover it up and it's not really going to matter. I'm going to bring in my dark Cajun Craze and just add some shading to the dark spots where the artist has already shown us where the leaf is darker than the others. That's all going to seep in together. I'm going to come in here with my light Daffodil Delight, do this other leaf. Again, this is stamped with the Early Espresso ink pad on the basic beige cardstock. So a little bit different because normally we stamp on the white cardstock. I just liked the basic beige a little bit better just because it was a fall card. Come back in with the small tip of our dark Daffodil Delight. Add some shading there where the stamp has already put the dark shading for us. And then I'm going to come back in one more time, blend all of that out, make the dark and the light kind of spread into each other. I'm even going to go over this Cajun Craze right here in the middle. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my light pecan pie, and I'm going to come down here and do the bottom part of the acorn. Again, fast coloring. Sorry. We're not going to take a lot of time. Don't want to bore you guys with coloring. This is the dark pecan pie. We're going to do the little branch here. We're going to do the little top of the acorns. Maybe come in here and do some shading where the artist has already put the lines for us to kind of tell us that that is kind of a darker area. And then one more time with the light, just to kind of blend all of that in. So then we took the Grateful for You again off of, where did I put it? The stamp set in the catalog. So Grateful for You, this Amber Autumn stamp. I've already stamped it. Again, it's a photopolymer stamp. It's already on the block. I was just trying to save us some time and already have it done. We're going to put a line of adhesive. You can tell I messed up the first time I stamped it. There are 2 sides to every piece of paper. Thank goodness. No one is going to know that that's there. It's going to be covered up because we're going to put this right across our little image here. And then we're going to take our little Early Espresso Spotlight on Nature die, and we're going to put some adhesive on the back of this. Kind of put this in the middle. You want it hanging off a little bit. Make sure your words are straight. Then we're going to take some of our little dimensionals. We're going to put some dimensionals on the back here so that we can pop this up. I'm going to go ahead and use 4 of them. Do a little bit of overkill probably. Take the backings off. Pull back in our card. Gonna center that right here. Push it down. And then we're gonna tie our little pretty bow so that we can close this beautiful card up and add some bling, because every card needs some bling. Again, you would pull and make your card all pretty. Come back in here, clip the ends, add an angle, make it look all fancy, fancy. And then again, we could come in with the street dots or the gold Cajun Craze dots. I am going to use these gold Cajun Craze ones just because I feel like there's enough of the brown up here. So I'm going to add a little bit of orange. There are 3 sizes on these dots, so I'm going to put the large, the medium, and then come down here and get a small and put the small down here. But those are our cards. We're 10 minutes over, not too shabby for making 2 cards and talking a lot about all the different decisions that you can make using the same paper, the same stamp sets. It's just a matter of folding it differently, making it close differently. So hopefully you guys enjoyed Card Making 101. Perfect and beautiful. Oh, Mom, thanks. You're always my biggest supporter. I appreciate you. I love you. Well, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful, fabulous weekend. You're welcome. We'll see you here next weekend, again, using this big die to make a shaker card. You know I love a good shaker card. And when I saw this die, that's the whole reason why I bought this stamp and die set, was because of this die right here. And I have grown to love this pack of paper, this stamp set. It's beautiful. And there are so many different ways and options that you can use it. So again, thanks for spending an hour, a little bit over an hour today with me going over cards and the different ways that you can make them different just by some different choices that you make. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a fabulous next week, and we'll see you back here next weekend. I'll let you know if it's Saturday or Sunday. Stay tuned. Watch my Facebook page for all the updates. Love you guys. Bye.